It began, as so many revelations do, not with a thunderclap or a flash across the sky, but with something so small, so faint, that it nearly went unnoticed. A flicker. On the vast digital canvas of a telescope sensor, one of millions of nightly observations, appeared a single pixel of light. To most, it would have been meaningless. Astronomers see flickers like this all the time: cosmic rays, background noise, routine asteroids tumbling quietly through the void. But this one was different. Hidden in the deep background of the universe was an object that refused to behave as expected. At first, the data flagged it as ordinary, a rock, a leftover from the solar system's formation. But when astronomers fed its trajectory into orbital models, the room fell silent. The math was wrong. It wasn't just moving fast, it was moving too fast. It wasn't curving along a predictable path dictated by the sun's pull. Its speed, its direction, even its defiance of gravity told a story that left seasoned experts unsettled. The conclusion arrived quietly but landed like an earthquake: this object wasn't from here. It had come from outside the solar system. A true interstellar visitor. And not just passing by, it was headed toward us. Within hours, observatories around the world confirmed the sighting. Astronomers compared notes, cross-checked calculations, and submitted their observations to the Minor Planet Center. The object was given a designation, and then a name whispered across labs and control rooms with a mixture of awe and unease: 3I Atlas. But it wasn't the discovery itself that sparked panic in scientific circles, it was what came next. From the very beginning, 3I Atlas refused to fit the mold of a natural object. Its brightness was unusual, its movement precise, its acceleration unnatural. And then came the most unsettling suggestion of all, one that divided the scientific community and poured gasoline on the fire of speculation. What if this object was not natural at all? Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, already infamous for suggesting that the interstellar object Oumuamua might have been artificial, urged NASA to point the James Webb Space Telescope at it immediately. Webb, humanity's most powerful eye in the heavens, could peer deeper than any instrument before it, capable of detecting faint glimmers of heat, signs of propulsion, even fragments of technology. Loeb's plea was simple: find out if this thing was moving under its own power. And so Webb turned its gaze toward the flicker. Data streamed back. Entire packets of infrared imagery, spectrographic analysis, thermal readings, all the tools designed to uncover the secrets of distant galaxies were suddenly focused on a single dot of light drifting through our cosmic neighborhood. And then, silence. No public release. No press briefing. No high-resolution images splashed across science journals. What Webb saw was not shared with the world. Instead, reports of encrypted transmissions, sudden blackouts in data access, and tightened internal protocols began trickling out of NASA and JPL. Astronomers who had spoken openly about 3I Atlas days earlier went quiet. Their voices vanished from podcasts, interviews, even Twitter feeds. This silence spoke louder than any press release ever could. Because we had seen this before. In 2017, Oumuamua, our first recorded interstellar object, tumbled through the solar system, long and thin like a cosmic shard. It accelerated as it left, yet left behind no visible tail, no dust, no gas. The explanation didn't fit comets, asteroids, or anything else in our catalog. And then came Borisov in 2019, another interstellar visitor, but this time a clear comet, icy, shedding debris, natural in every way. Astronomers breathed easier. Perhaps Oumuamua had been a fluke. But 3I Atlas wasn't Borisov. Its trajectory was too exact. Its reflection too bright. If its surface was dark, as most asteroids are, it would have to be nearly 20 kilometers wide to reflect the light we saw. That isn't just large, that's colossal. Larger than both of its predecessors. And the question grew louder: if humanity has existed for millennia without spotting a single interstellar object, why have we now seen 3 in less than a decade? Have they always been there, hidden in the dark until our technology became sharp enough to notice? Or are they being sent, deliberately, now? The Atlas system, which first caught the object, was designed for one purpose: to warn us of threats. Its wide-field telescopes in Hawaii and South Africa sweep the skies, looking for anything moving too fast, too strangely. And 3I Atlas was exactly that. By the end of June, over 100 independent confirmations had poured in. Its path traced not from the Kuiper belt, not from the Oort cloud, but from interstellar space itself, possibly even near the dense, radiation-choked core of the galaxy. A place where, by all rights, nothing resembling life should survive. Yet here it was. And it was accelerating. Not randomly, not chaotically, but with just enough precision to raise every red flag. Because acceleration without an engine, without outgassing, without any visible mechanism, well, that means something unseen is pushing it. Which is why, when amateur astronomer Sam Dean reviewed archived telescope images, he noticed something chilling. Buried in earlier frames dismissed as noise, the object had shifted paths in subtle ways inconsistent with gravity. Not a drift. Not a nudge. A deviation. Small but undeniable. Evidence of control. Dean published his findings in a modest online forum. Hours later, the thread was gone. His account locked. When he spoke briefly about it on a podcast, the episode vanished within 12 hours. Soon after, Dean himself stopped talking altogether. Some say he was pressured. Others believe he walked away voluntarily. But his data, those tiny, damning deviations, remain the most important clue yet. Because control implies intent, and intent implies intelligence. What if these aren't random rocks, but probes? Imagine a civilization millions of years older than ours. To explore the galaxy, they wouldn't send fragile ships filled with passengers. They'd send scouts, silent, durable machines designed to drift endlessly through space, watching, recording, reporting. 3 objects in less than 10 years. Oumuamua, Borisov, 3I Atlas. One strange, one natural, one stranger still. Coincidence? Or reconnaissance? Some theorists whispered an even darker possibility. If these are probes, then their makers already know we're here. They've known for a long time. And these aren't greetings, they're status checks. Monitoring stations passing through to update whoever, or whatever, sent them. But perhaps the most disturbing clue is not what the object is, but when it arrived. Just as humanity has begun scanning the skies with daily, high-resolution sweeps. Just as the James Webb Space Telescope opened its golden eye to the cosmos. Just as AI began analyzing patterns too subtle for human eyes. It feels less like coincidence and more like timing. As if it wanted to be seen. And that leads to an unsettling thought. What if it has always been here, drifting just out of our perception, waiting for us to evolve the tools to finally recognize it? What if its appearance now is deliberate, the final test in a sequence, a breadcrumb trail we were meant to follow? And what if this is not a beginning, but an escalation? Because when you trace its orbit forward, 3I Atlas will pass near Mars on October 3, 2025. Then it will swing past the Sun on October 23, slipping behind the solar disk, out of Earth's view, before vanishing back into interstellar space. It won't hit us. It won't linger. It will come close, observe, and leave. Almost like a visitor checking in on something, on us. And when you trace its orbit backward, you don't find a neighboring star system. You find emptiness. The galactic core. A place so hostile, so irradiated, that no life we know could ever emerge. Unless, of course, it isn't life we're looking at all. Unless it's machinery. Machines don't need breathable atmospheres. Machines don't fear radiation. Machines don't die of time. They endure. And so the blackout begins. NASA refuses to release Webb's images. The Vera Rubin Observatory mysteriously loses calibration scans. FOIA requests are denied. Servers malfunction, data vanishes, observatories across continents report delays. Statistically, the odds of so many unrelated failures at once are near zero. Which means they aren't failures at all. They're cover-ups. If the data was ordinary, it would be shared. If it showed nothing, it would be public. The only reason to hide it is because the truth is too disruptive, too destabilizing, or too dangerous. Which leaves us with one final question. Maybe it isn't just about what this object is. Maybe it's about what comes after. 3i Atlas didn't arrive broadcasting signals, flashing lights, or spelling words across the sky. It arrived quietly. It reflected light. It shifted course. It watched. That is its message, not in sound, but in motion. Not in language, but in presence. And maybe we aren't supposed to decode it yet. Maybe the message is simple: we see you. We've always seen you. And now we know you can see us too. So ask yourself, do you believe 3i Atlas is just a rock, tumbling in from another star? Or is it something more? Something that chose to be seen, right now, in this exact moment of human history? Because if it is, then the real question isn't what is it? The real question is, what comes next?